Hi guys, my name's Emily and I'm a feminist. Now, I know the term feminist is quite a controversial one and that it's received a lot of negativity, both in the past and more recent times. But I like the term and I like what it truly stands for. So today, I hope to get you thinking about why we need feminism and open up your eyes to a few of the really awful situations women are subjected to. This is the F word. Now, if I Google the term feminism, I'm met with the definition, the advocacy of women's rights on the ground of the equality of the sexes, which, in other words, means people working towards women having the same rights as every other sex. I don't see anything about man-hating or wanting women to rule the world. Do you? Feminism dates back centuries and centuries, with one of the earliest supporters being Plato, who argued for the total political and sexual equality of women. He believed women should be able to fight and rule just as men did. Fast forward about 22 centuries and we are met by one of the most famous historical women, Florence Nightingale. While many women were against organised movements, Florence felt empowered by them and believed that women had all the potential of men, but none of the opportunity. The most famous feminist movement is almost certainly the suffragettes. Although they were probably one of the most controversial groups, they were also one of the most influential ones. No, not everyone agreed with their tactics of heckling, banging on doors and throwing themselves in front of racehorses. Emmeline Pankhurst, I'm looking at you. But they were out to make a change, and that's exactly what they did. They were able to get people's attention and help women around the world. I mean, without these brave women, it would have been a lot longer before we could have voted. But the fight is still on. We still don't have the same rights as men, and although laws have been passed to help us girls out, people still find ways around them. Women are still scared to leave the house alone at night because they have a genuine fear of being raped. There's still a stigma of women wearing makeup to work. I mean, seriously, how is it still legal for an employer to fire a woman because she won't wear makeup? And let's not even get started on the problem with breastfeeding in public. I could talk all day about how people are cool with a nude woman in a family newspaper, but against a woman feeding her child. I spoke to some students at the University of Portsmouth to see what their opinion on feminism was. Here's what they had to say.
Feminism is
wanting equality for both genders, and it's a movement that tries to bring that about.
equality for men and women.
Feminism to me, or the way I see feminism, is the equality of all sexes.
The biggest problem that women are facing at the moment is
Gender pay gap.
This is sexual harassment. The problem being that it can be, people can turn a blind eye to it ever so easily. How it's not taken seriously enough, how it happens far too often.
being taken seriously about the problems that they bring up. Like, there are loads of different problems that feminism tries to deal with, from like the gender pay gap to like sexual assault and all that kind of thing, but I think you often see people trivialise the issues. So you see on like the internet and stuff, people say just because things have come so far already that people don't need to try and bring about more progress.
The change I want to see
is getting rid of the gender wage gap, because if a woman is just as qualified as a man for a job, there's no reason that she should be paid less.
Women to be paid equally as men, depending on the job.
Because we've come so far, because women have come so far, that let's not give up on this particular point. So maybe get more women into politics, or more women into financial, or more women into finance, but in positions of power or positions of influence. And obviously that goes for both finance, politics, and across all industries, to be honest.
Now, I want to focus on one issue in particular, something that video touched on, which is equal pay. Before 1970, it was legal for an employer to pay a woman a large amount less than her male co-worker, even if they were doing the exact same job. Even if the woman in question was smarter, with more qualifications and a stronger work ethic, it was common for the man to still be paid more. It was only when the Equal Pay Act was implemented in 1970, after a number of equal pay strikes and demonstrations, that employers could no longer legally act this way. From this point, employers had to provide the same wages, holiday, pension rights and company perks for women as they did for men. However, it took 5 years for the law to actually have any impact, and even then, there were still ways around it. In 2010, the Equality Act was brought in. This was to replace all of the anti-discrimination acts, including the Equal Pay Act, to protect all of those at risk of being treated unfairly in and out of their workplace. As well as gender, it stopped people being discriminated for their race, sexual orientation, religion and beliefs, disability or marital status, as well as age and gender reassignment. This act further contributed to the fight against women being paid less than men. Although we've come a long way, there's still a big problem with wage discrimination. The wage between men and women still varies between 10 and 40% throughout the world. Yeah, you heard that right, 40%. Men are earning that much money for absolutely no reason. Even 47 years after the Equal Pay Act had been brought in, men are still on average earning 10% more in the UK. And it's so much worse for older women as well. Those in their 40s generally earn 25% less than their male counterparts. The gender wage gap is a particular issue within the media industry. You'd think companies as well known as the BBC wouldn't discriminate people against their gender, but you'd be wrong. Reports have stated that women are being paid as much as £10,000 less than their male co-workers. Even those who have submitted an equal pay review and were given a pay rise still do not have a wage to match the men in their team. And that isn't even the worst of it. In 1997, Radio 4 presenter Sue McGregor was being paid £20,000 less than her two male co-stars. Then, unbelievably, presenter Sandy Toksvig, who is Chancellor of the University of Portsmouth by the way, was turned down the lead of presenting role on Have I Got News For You, simply because she was a woman. This discrimination even goes as far as Hollywood. In 2015, Jennifer Lawrence was ranked as the highest paid actress, earning $52 million, which sounds like a lot of money, which I mean it is, but it suddenly seems a lot smaller when you hear that in the same year, Robert Downey Jr. earned a whopping $80 million. As well as men being paid a higher salary, they're also earning more profit from the films themselves. For example, Jennifer Lawrence and Amy Adams both earned 7% cuts of American Hustle's profits, while their male co-stars each earned 2% more. And yeah, I know that 2% doesn't seem a lot, but when it's 2% of millions of pounds, suddenly, I'm quite annoyed. As we can see, the gender wage gap is a problem across all platforms of the media industry. Whether it's films, live television or online streaming, men are still benefiting from the bright lights of Hollywood more than their female co-stars. We still have a long fight on our hands, and there's so much that we can still achieve, but I personally believe that we have it in us as women and men to achieve equality between the sexes. Whether it be equal pay or equal opportunities, we have a difficult journey ahead of us. Thank you for watching this. I hope that you now have a better insight into what's happening and have a better opinion on the term feminist. My name's Emily, I'm a feminist, and I hope you are too.